nearly 2 years, Megyn Kelly maintained a careful public stance when discussing her ex-husband Douglas Brunt. "It's a private matter," she'd say, or "we're focused on co-parenting." But in a shocking new interview, the former Fox News and NBC anchor has finally opened up about the truth behind her high-profile marriage and subsequent divorce, and her unfiltered words have sent shockwaves through media circles. Here's the inside story on what pushed Kelly to finally speak out, and why her revelations have viewers nationwide stunned. During what should have been a routine episode of her podcast, The Megyn Kelly Show, the host was discussing relationship dynamics with her guest, relationship expert Dr. Laura Schlesinger. Instead of the usual measured commentary, something unexpected happened. "Look, I've been taking the high road for 2 years when it comes to Doug," Kelly began, her voice noticeably tensing. "Every interview, every public appearance, I've stayed quiet about what really happened. I'm done with that." Dr. Schlesinger, clearly caught off guard, tried redirecting to broader relationship principles. But Kelly was determined to speak her mind. A production team member later described it as years of frustration finally boiling over. "People think they know what happened in our marriage, but they've only heard the sanitized version," Kelly continued. "The reality was much more complicated and much more difficult for our family." What followed was a 20-minute unfiltered account that contradicted many assumptions about her seemingly picture-perfect marriage to the novelist. The episode quickly went viral, generating millions of downloads within hours of publication and igniting fierce debate among media watchers nationwide. The relationship between Kelly and Brunt began in 2006, when Kelly was rising through the ranks at Fox News. Brunt, a successful novelist and former internet security executive, seemed the perfect complement to Kelly's ambitious media career. Their 2008 marriage produced 3 children, and projected an image of balance between Kelly's high-profile television career and Brunt's more private literary pursuits. For over a decade, they appeared to be a power couple who had mastered the work-life balance that eludes so many in the spotlight. But according to Kelly's new account, tensions were building beneath the surface. "Doug was supportive of my career in public, and that wasn't fake. But behind closed doors, there was growing resentment about the demands of my schedule, the public scrutiny, and how it affected our family dynamic." The breaking point came, according to Kelly, during her tumultuous departure from NBC in 2018, following controversy over comments she made about blackface on her morning show. According to media lore, Brunt was her rock during this professional crisis. In her interview, Kelly offered new details about that pivotal moment. "The public narrative was that Doug was my unwavering support system during the NBC fallout. The reality was much more complicated. There were difficult conversations happening at home about my career choices, about whether I had become too controversial, about how it was affecting him and the kids." Former colleague Sandra Smith corroborated aspects of Kelly's account in a separate interview. "Those of us who worked closely with Megyn could see the strain during that period. She was fighting professional battles in public and personal battles in private. It was an impossible situation." Public perception of their marriage remains the most contentious issue between Kelly's account and popular assumption. For years, the couple projected an image of unwavering mutual support, with Brunt frequently appearing on Kelly's shows and speaking glowingly about her in interviews. In her new interview, Kelly addressed these appearances directly. "Yes, Doug came on my shows. Yes, he supported my career publicly. I'm not saying that was fake. But there was another side that people didn't see. The arguments about my schedule, about the public scrutiny, about how my career was affecting our family." But Kelly challenged the characterization of their marriage as uniquely harmonious. "What nobody talks about is how hard it is to maintain 2 high-profile careers and raise 3 children. The reality wasn't the perfect balance we projected. There were sacrifices, resentments, and compromises that eventually became unsustainable." Media analyst Rebecca Traister offered perspective. "Celebrity marriages are often presented as aspirational narratives. The reality is that power couples face unique stresses, public scrutiny, competing ambitions, and the challenge of maintaining privacy when one or both partners are constantly in the spotlight." Over the years, Kelly and Brunt's relationship was featured in countless profiles and interviews, with each portrayal becoming more idealized than the last. generating significant audience engagement for publishers and networks. In the world of media personalities, personal narratives become part of the brand, explains communications professor Jennifer Posner. The gap between public image and private reality creates enormous pressure, especially for women who are expected to have it all while making it look effortless. After her departure from NBC, Kelly and Brunt's career trajectories diverged significantly. Kelly launched her independent podcast and digital platform, embracing a more outspoken, less corporate approach to media. Brunt continued his literary career while maintaining a lower public profile. In her interview, Kelly acknowledged the impact of these changes. "When I left the corporate media world, I changed. I was no longer willing to self-censor, to play by rules that felt increasingly restrictive. That freedom was liberating professionally, but created new tensions at home." But Kelly also expressed frustration with what she sees as a double standard. Male anchors and hosts can be controversial, outspoken, and demanding without being labeled difficult. Women in media face a different set of expectations, both professionally and in their personal lives. Industry insiders note that the Kelly-Brunt dynamic reflected broader patterns in media marriages. These relationships often follow a familiar trajectory, explains former network executive Jamie Horowitz. When both partners are ambitious and in the public eye, the balance of attention and success becomes its own challenge. When one partner's star rises dramatically, it creates pressure that many relationships can't withstand. This professional evolution extended to their public personas as well. While Kelly became increasingly outspoken on political and cultural issues, Brunt maintained a more measured public presence focused primarily on his literary work. Former Fox News colleague Gretchen Carlson observes, "Media figures and their spouses navigate unique challenges. The public feels entitled to opinions about your relationship, your parenting, your values. That constant scrutiny creates pressure that most marriages aren't built to withstand." One of the most revealing aspects of Kelly's interview was her discussion of the emotional toll the public-private divide took on both partners. "People think it's just about schedules or career decisions, but it's deeply personal," Kelly said. "Living two lives, the public image and the private reality, takes a psychological toll. Eventually, something has to give." Kelly spoke candidly about how maintaining the perfect couple image affected her personally. "Every interview where we pretended everything was perfect, every public appearance where we played our roles, it created a gap between image and reality that became increasingly difficult to bridge." The media personality also revealed that there had been attempts at reconciliation that the public never saw. "We tried therapy. We tried restructuring our schedules. We tried creating boundaries between work and home. Those efforts were sincere, but ultimately, we wanted different things." Media psychologist Dr. Pamela Rutledge offered perspective. "Public figures often feel trapped by the narratives they've created or that have been created about them. Breaking free from those narratives, even when they no longer reflect reality, requires tremendous courage." The media community's reaction to Kelly's revelations has been mixed, with viewers and colleagues taking sides in a debate that spans political and cultural divides. Former CNN anchor Brooke Baldwin expressed empathy. "As someone who's navigated the challenges of maintaining relationships while in the public eye, I understand the impossible position Megyn was in. The expectation that women in media will have perfect personal lives while excelling professionally is an unfair burden." Media critic Brian Stelter took a more analytical view. Kelly's personal revelations reflect a broader trend of media personalities reclaiming their narratives outside traditional platforms. The podcast format allows for a level of candor that network television rarely permits. On social media, the reaction has been predictably divided, with hashtags like Team Megyn and #Team Doug trending within hours of the interview's release. Conservative viewers largely supported Kelly, while critics questioned her timing and motivations. Vanity Fair's media reporter Joe Pompeo notes that this generational aspect makes the story unique. "We're seeing a shift in how public figures approach personal disclosures. The previous generation maintained strict boundaries between public and private lives. Today's media personalities, even conservative ones like Kelly, are increasingly willing to share personal struggles as part of their brand authenticity." Media veterans see the Kelly-Brunt situation as emblematic of deeper issues in the industry, particularly regarding the unique pressures faced by women in high-profile positions. What happened with Megyn and Doug was unfortunately common, explains former network executive Shelley Ross. Women in media face impossible expectations. Be ambitious but not threatening. Be a devoted parent but always available for breaking news. Be authentic but not controversial. Former Today host Ann Curry had previously addressed similar contexts. The public sees the glamour and success, but not the 4 a.m. wake-ups, the missed family events, the constant scrutiny of appearance and aging that women in television face. Those pressures inevitably affect marriages. The financial stakes have only grown. In 2023, analysts estimated the value of personal brand narratives in media at over $300 million annually, with relationship dynamics accounting for significant audience engagement. What makes this situation unique is the timing, notes media analyst Claire Atkinson. Kelly's revelations come as she's established independence from traditional media structures. She no longer needs to maintain a narrative that serves network interests or advertiser comfort. After years of restraint, what prompted Kelly to finally speak out? Industry insiders point to several converging factors. Megyn has been through a significant professional evolution, observes one longtime associate who requested anonymity. Her independent platform gives her control over her narrative in a way that was impossible at Fox or NBC. Perhaps carrying this old burden no longer made sense. The recent publication of Brunt's latest novel may have been another catalyst. In recent months, his promotional interviews have included subtle references to their relationship that Kelly reportedly felt mischaracterized certain aspects. There's a pattern where public figures feel compelled to correct the record when their ex-partners control the narrative, notes one veteran media reporter. Those subtle mischaracterizations may seem minor to outsiders, but can feel significant to those who lived the reality. Anyone who knows Megyn knows she's strategic with media, says former colleague Janice Dean. If she said it, it's because she felt it was the right time to reclaim her narrative, not because of some impulsive decision. Douglas Brunt's initial response to Kelly's interview came via a brief statement through his publisher. After maintaining privacy about our relationship for years, Megyn has decided to share her perspective. I respect her right to tell her story, but there are always multiple sides to the dissolution of a marriage. The novelist followed this with a longer statement to select media outlets, challenging several specific points from Kelly's account. Megyn describes tensions about her career as a primary factor in our separation, but doesn't mention other significant issues that contributed equally to our decision. I've always supported her professional ambitions, publicly and privately. Brunt also addressed the personal dimension. We share 3 wonderful children who remain our priority. I won't engage in a public back and forth that might affect them. Some matters are best kept private, even in an age where privacy seems increasingly devalued. Industry observers note that despite the disagreements, both parties stopped short of complete character assassination. There's still a level of respect there, observes media coach Melissa Lefevre. They're disagreeing about perceptions and experiences, not denying each other's value as parents or professionals. Brunt is currently promoting his latest novel, with his publicist reportedly instructing interviewers that questions about Kelly's comments are off-limits. During recent appearances, he has briefly addressed the situation only by saying, "Relationships end for complex reasons that rarely fit neatly into sound bites or headlines. Megyn and I had 13 years together and have 3 amazing children. That's what matters most." As the media community digests these revelations, questions remain about what this means for the future relationship between these high-profile figures, particularly as co-parents. This could go one of 2 ways, predicts family therapist Dr. Michael Broder. Either this public airing of grievances will clear the air and allow them to establish a healthier co-parenting relationship, or it will entrench positions and make cooperation more difficult. Getting everything out in the open can sometimes be the first step to moving forward. The possibility of professional collaboration now seems remote, though both have occasionally mentioned potential projects involving their shared experiences. Sources close to both parties indicate such collaborations are now unlikely. Vanity Fair's Pompeo sees potential for eventual reconciliation. Both Megyn and Doug have navigated significant professional and personal challenges. They're intelligent people who clearly care about their children. That shared priority could still be the foundation for a functional relationship, even if it's not the one they originally envisioned. The Kelly-Brunt relationship remains one of media's most examined partnerships, a story of ambition, success, public scrutiny, and private struggles spanning more than 15 years. As both continue their respective careers, observers can only hope that these public figures might eventually find a way to navigate their post-marriage relationship with the same success they brought to their professional endeavors. Until then, the saga continues to unfold. In the end, what looks perfect from the outside rarely is, observes media critic Margaret Sullivan. These two people created a family and successful careers under intense public scrutiny. The rest is just commentary. What's your take on Megyn Kelly's decision to finally break her silence about her marriage? Do you think public figures should maintain privacy about their relationships, or is transparency better? Share your thoughts in the comments below.